Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. How's it going?
Oh, wonderful. Thanks. I'm not very up with all these technological stuff.
That's all right. You know, sometimes I'll interview people, and there's always a bit of a struggle to get that first connection going, the sound and everything. And depending on who I'm interviewing, I sometimes leave that little piece in on the final cut when I put it on YouTube, and people find it hilarious because everyone has been through COVID, and they've had their fair share of video calls, and
Yes.
they've got their own stories to tell, and immediately they are relating with the video. So first of all, thank you so much for saying yes for a quick chat. I just want to because you won our second Poiki photo competition, and
Yay.
yeah. So for those users and viewers who don't know what it's about, basically you just submit a photo, a scenic photo from wherever you are in the world. Doesn't matter from of what you're showing the photo of. It could be of a nice beach somewhere, a nice canyon somewhere, or even a Windpomp. Let me well, first of all, tell us a bit about this photo. Why did you take it?
Well, I've actually loved windmills or wind pump since I was a little girl, and they've also always fascinated me. And every time we go back to South Africa, I take photos of them. And this one was actually taken in January when we were driving back from Bloemfontein to Joburg Airport. And along the way somewhere, there was this windmill, and sometimes it's a beautiful photo, sometimes it's not. And this one just worked out, and it was, yeah, to be honest, it was a lucky shot because it was taken while driving. Well, my husband was driving, and yeah, and I took the photo, and my husband said, "Well, it's probably not going to be a very good photo," and it turned out to be one of the most beautiful photos.
Here's what you
And
need
I'm
to
not.
do. When he takes that first bite of the potjie that he makes with this potjie, just tell him it's probably not. It was probably not that good photo, was it? Just see what he.
I'll tell him that. Yes, so it was really just a lucky shot, but I was really glad, and it's actually my banner photo. It's been my banner photo since January on Facebook because I just loved it so much, and I'm really glad that other people loved it as well. So to everyone who voted, thank you very much.
Well, look, the thing about this photo, I've taken a photo a couple of years. I used to live in the UK, and we were invited to something called the Oorsee Feast, which is a group of South Africans just having a bit of a spit braai and everything. And it was in this valley, and there was this green pasture on the one side, just like a grassy hill, and there was cows standing on top of this hill. And I just took my phone out, and I thought, well, there's something about that shot that just clicks. And I managed to take the photo so that only one cow was in the shot, and the rest of the scenic hill. I'll add it into the video afterwards. And everyone was raving about that photo afterwards. And I'm seeing, well, that was not even close to what you've taken here, but I mean, it's not. I think that the green grass and everything, and you did the rule of third when it comes to photography. I used to be a full-time photographer back in South Africa, and we had the rule of third, which you put your object of focus in the one side of the photo, which it just works really well. Can you see my screen that I'm sharing?
Yes, I can. I can
Yes.
see the photo now.
So I think it's a really nice shot, and as I said in my description when I made the announcement, is I'm a bit of a deep thinker, and I've been out of the country for almost 10 years now, traveling to several different countries, finally settling in Melbourne in Australia. And there's stuff that you miss growing up. I grew up between the Namaqualand and the Karoo, and there used to be a windpomp in every second yard. And every other day we'll be swimming in someone's reservoir, just as we would pronounce it in Afrikaans, because the summers were long, it was hot, And yes, you have to path your way through all the green grass and algae and
Oh,
what was growing, but it's the best swim ever. And
oh, absolutely.
yeah, the photo just there's so much memories. It stirred so much memories, fond memories in myself, and I'm pretty sure it done the same for a lot of our members on the group. And I think the proof is in the pudding. You got the most likes.
Well, thank you very much.
I just need to say there was a bit of a friendly competition between the admins, and yeah, I was obviously vouching for you, but yeah, there's some of the Adrian that didn't really like they loved your photo, but they loved other photos a bit more, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it was really fun just to grind it in. Today when I did the announcement.
That's true. And but I mean, the other photos were all so beautiful, and especially the one I think it was taken in America with the cliffs, the sand cliffs, and everything. So I mean, all I feel really honored that my photo won because the other photos were also beautiful. And I'm not a photographer, so you explaining about making the main focus in 1/3. I don't know anything about that, so it was just. For me, it was when I take a photo, I don't like putting the main focus in the middle, but I'm not a photographer. I just love taking photos, and so I feel really honored that it can make such an impression. And yeah, as I said, a windmill or Windpomp is something really special to me as well. And I also had those experiences of swimming in the dams with all the algae, and it's lovely to take people back those memories of what we had as children or even growing up, and things that's so different to what our kids are experiencing. So I really like to do that.
Yeah. I sometimes wish my kids can have just a taste of what I had when I grew up. Now tell me something, competition aside, you live in Belgium.
Yes.
Entertain us a bit, because obviously you gave me your address because I need to ship the prize to you, and I'm not going to give you address obviously on the video, but tell us your street name.
Kerkstraat.
Kerkstraat. So
Yes.
how much different is what's it? What do we speak in Belgium? Is it Flemish?
Yes, it's Flemish. It's very close to Dutch. There are some words that differ from Flemish to Dutch.
Yeah.
But if you can talk Dutch, you can understand Flemish, vice versa. But there are a lot of dialects. If you think how big South Africa is, and we don't really have dialects, yes, there's a little bit of a difference in pronunciation from people living in Cape Town and Johannesburg. But in Belgium, in Belgium, it's almost a different language, the dialects, because it's not only different from one region to another region, but sometimes even from town to town. And most of the dialects, if you can understand Flemish, you can understand it. But something, for instance, like West-Vlaams, which they talk in the western part of Flanders, is much more difficult to understand. So everywhere you go in the Flemish region, if you talk Flemish or Dutch, you of course can understand, and most people talk their own dialect and Dutch as well. But some dialects are a little bit more difficult to understand than others.
So, if I may ask, what brought you to Belgium? What's there?
Well, actually, we never planned to move to Belgium. We originally moved to Barcelona for 2 years for my husband's work, and it would have been only 2 years, and then we would have gone back to South Africa. But we always say, you never know what's going to happen. Life gives you curveballs. Maybe things change. It doesn't always work out as planned. So we planned to go back after 2 years, but that didn't happen. And after 3 years in Barcelona, my husband was still in the same company, but his job changed, and we had to make a decision whether we stay in Barcelona or move to Belgium. And we ended up moving to Belgium. And yes, and now we've been here, wow, 17 years.
17 years. Wow.
Yeah, yes, it's amazing how long it's been actually. And our kids were born here, grew up here, and it was never the plan, but we love it here. I mean, there are things that every country, I think, has its things that doesn't work. It's never going to be perfect. I think it's tough everywhere you go. But I think it helps a lot, the mindset and everything. And we ended up in an area where most of the expats live. But then when we decided to buy a house, because we realized we probably not going back, and we have to start settling, we bought in a very rural area. So we ended up living in the countryside, which was also not planned, but we love it.
Oh, I can just imagine a European countryside. I'm always amazed by, first of all, how small the Europe is in comparison with, say, for instance, Australia, America, and even some parts of Europe in comparison with South Africa. But there's so much space, and there's so much
Yes.
surprises.
Yes.
They've got something of everything over there.
Yes, and the thing is, we live very rural, but I'm still close to everything. We're a bit of an exception that our town is very small. We're part of a bigger town, of course, with all the shops and everything. But for instance, on the one side, I've got a little wood. On the other side, I've got maize fields and horses running around. But I'm 3 kilometers from the shops and from the primary school. I'm 30 minutes from the hospital, so I'm still close to everything.
Yeah.
But I'm living very rural and very quiet. And I remember my husband, when we moved here the first week, you would wake up sometimes in the night and it would be so quiet that we would think, are we on holiday? It's so quiet, because we were used to living in more busy areas. And that's what we love about living rural here, but also that obviously brings other complications as well. So we're not that close to a bus stop like most Belgian people live in a certain distance, but we're a bit further away.
Yeah.
But you take that as it comes.
Yeah, I guess there's a difference between rural Europe and rural Australia.
Yes.
If you go rural in Australia, you go literally where there's nothing, and the
Yes.
government, they're trying to get more people there, so they pay big bonuses if you decide to go rural for work. By going there, they'll thank you by paying you an X sum every year just to stay rural. But yeah, I reckon we're not quite in the city. We're about an hour or so outside of Melbourne, but really, really nice. It's 15 minutes down the road to the beach. It's yeah, it's
wonderful.
not rural, but not city, right on the edge.
Yeah.
I must say, I've gotten used to it, being from the proper countryside in South Africa. And I don't think I'll change it for anything. Not, yeah. Well, I might do it for a Belgium countryside visit. Why not? Anchen, Kobus, right? Is that your surname, Kobus?
Yes, that's our surname. It's actually Kobus. It's actually with an umlaut on the O, but
Right.
we had problems with passports that, as you know, it doesn't always say what it's supposed to say. So we decided to take the umlaut away. Of course, now you get the thing of, no, not your name, your surname, because Kobus obviously is a name as well. Not so much in Europe, but it sometimes still happens in Belgium as well. And here I obviously also have a difference where I use my maiden name, because until a few years ago, in Belgium, when you get married, you kept your maiden name. And when we first moved here, the woman where we, in our commune, where we registered, she said, well, that's what they do here, so you do the same. So I'm actually in Belgium, I'm Anchen Rabalt, but on Facebook and in South Africa, I'm Anchen Kobus.
That's so interesting. I didn't even, I learn every day. Well, I talk to a lot of people, and all over the world. You'll see in the channel, we've got a fair amount of people, videos on there, and this is the first time ever I hear this. This is quite interesting. I'm going to go read up on that. because
Yeah,
you keep
it's actually not like that anymore. You can change whatever. It's your choice. Also with children, usually they have their father's surname, but now you can do the mother's surname, or you can do both. And there's a lot of South African women who keep their and use their married name. It's just what I did because I didn't know better 17 years ago at the commune. If the lady tell you use your maiden name, that's what you do.
So your maiden name?
But I
know. Did you say Van der Walt? What did you say?
Rabald, Rabald.
Rabald.
It's true.
Kobus.
Yes, it's true.
Rabald Kobus. Yeah, you're right.
It's difficult both ways. I'm used to that because my name, my surname, and my maiden name are all difficult, so I'm used to that. But
I must say,
okay.
I like Kobus. Kobus got a ring to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
It's like South African double whammy. Yeah, you can't.
Yes.
With a name like that, everyone's going to know where you're from.
Yes, absolutely.
But Anchen, thank you so much for taking my call, and congratulations on your win. I am working pretty hard to source a vendor. The first vendor that I contacted out of the UK says sorry, they don't ship to Belgium, but I'll keep trying for a few more days. Let's say argumentatively by Monday, Tuesday, if I can't find you a vendor, I'll pay you the equivalent of what it's worth, because you've earned it.
Okay.
You've won the competition, you've won it, and you're not the first one. Our first lady, Lisa Lombard, listen to this. This blows my mind every time. So we had this very first competition, also a potjie. Hundreds of people entered. Not as this time around, not so many, but hundreds.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then her photo, the sunset photo, got selected by the users as the winner, right? And I was like, okay, wow, right. Let's find out where she lives. Probably in America somewhere. You know what? She lives 20 minutes down the road.
Oh my goodness.
I ordered the potjie, had it delivered at my work, and I drove straight there after work, and I
Oh wow.
left it on a doorstep. Pretty amazing. And we had another competition. People's going to start thinking this thing's rigged. It was a biltong maker. We've got one which we give away every 3 months, and it went into a lucky draw, and the lady that won lives 30 minutes down the road. I'm like, what's the chances? I mean, people are entering all across the world, and someone just around the corner won. But look, that said, the winner after that was in California. That's a bit, yeah, it's a bit further to yeah. Well, congratulations. I will. I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you posted, and yeah, just make sure you rub it in with the hubby. Make sure he understands. Next time you pull over, I want to take a photo of this Windpomp.
Okay, I will do that. And thank you so much again. And yeah, thank you for keeping us all connected. And I really love that.
I'm just having fun. That's all we're doing. Thank you so much.
That's good. Thank you. Bye.